$9,240,000,000.
A lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin.
Oh yeah, people, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Let's go.
Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Since I was born, been stacking my coin.
Off the chains, let's get into it. We got Crypto Keeper, we got Trekk on with us tonight. Let's go. Hit those thumbs up. Let's go. The livest crypto live stream in the game. The most informative too. We give it to you real, we give it to you raw. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's go.
Sitting down like a crypto crash. Stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash.
We're going to church tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Coinbase is reportedly selling geolocation to ICE. We're also going to talk about Bitcoin hitting $1,000. That's what Robert Kiyosaki is thinking we're going to. I don't know if you guys remember, I had Robert Kiyosaki on maybe about a year ago, and he predicted $75,000 Bitcoin. We got very close, 69. Now he's saying $1,000 Bitcoin. I don't know. You guys got to let me know. We'll look over that one with Crypto Keeper and Trekk with 2Ks. Let's get it.
I know the way we juiced up, nigga violate till it's JFK like Jerufa. Coin daddy bout them chips, nigga rap snacks.
Microstrategy buys another $10 million worth of Bitcoin. What is this all about? We'll talk about it. They're down $3.5 billion right now. They haven't sold, so they haven't actually lost it, but unrealized profits is $3.2 billion. What the hell is $10 million going to do? We'll talk to Crypto Keeper about that. We'll talk to Trekk with 2Ks with that. Let's go.
Stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin.
Sam Bankman-Fried. I call him Sam Bankman-Fried. If he continues to buy all these distressed companies, he buys BlockFi for $25 million. It was once valued at like $3 billion or $2 billion. Yikes, man. This contagion is getting real. We'll talk to the panelists about that tonight as well. Let's go.
Celebrating with my coins, niggas out his urgent. Nah, I'ma wash them with some Tide detergent.
I told you guys, you have to watch what the Federal Reserve is doing to dictate whether or not the bull run is going to start again in cryptos. And it looks like the market is now predicting a rate hike next year. Hey, maybe we can be done with this bear market by next year. We'll talk to the panelists about that as well. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it.
I'm mastering new caper, staying tuned to the moves.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. Okay.
This episode is brought to you by MEXC crypto trading platform. With the wild swings we're experiencing in these crypto markets, why not take advantage of the wide range of cryptos to actually trade on MEXC? Find your next moonshot and never miss another crypto gem again. And use the link below and I'll airdrop you $25 worth of Bitcoin. Visit MEXC.com for more information. Link in the description below. All right, ladies and gents, we are live. Got two of my good friends in the crypto space on with me today. It's church, man. It's Sunday. What's going on? Trekk, what's good, baby? I don't have any sound from you, bro. Let's move on to Crypto Keeper. See if he has sound.
We good. Yeah, we're here to go to church. It's Sunday. You already know what time it is. I actually got my church on this morning, and now we're going to get into the crypto church.
Crypto church. That's right. My name is Creflo Dollar. Trekk, what's good, baby?
All right, now here we go. I had it off on one side, and I'm jumping between different tabs and stuff. But yeah, today is really just my content day. Sitting around and doing stuff. That's my church, I guess to say.
Okay, that's your church. All right. So let's bring up Trekk real quick, guys. Make sure you go follow him because he is doing awesome content, not only on CBTV, but the Gentleman of Crypto. Shout out to the Gentleman of Crypto. Check out Trekk with 2Ks on
Yeah.
Twitter.
How about I'm on a third channel now, bro?
Oh my God, the Jamaican of crypto.
I got that worked out, so I'm on 3 channels now.
3.
Yeah, I'm
Woo.
doing voiceover stuff on Simple Crypto 101, and it's the basic, explainers, how tos, and covering everything from the regular crypto side all the way over to the NFT metaverse side.
That's what's up. Can you oh, that's your boy. I know who that is. I don't know if he wants me to say it, but yeah, okay. All right, no doubt. That's what's up. And tell them about this NFT, this new project you got going on.
All right, so me and my counterpart, 3D, who is like, I would argue 3D is like the embodiment of cypherpunk. We are doing a webinar on the basics of digital real estate and how you can monetize it like in traditional real estate. This isn't about coin flipping. This isn't about watching markets. This isn't about, trading the tokens or coin stuff. This is about actually dealing with the land plots and the different kind of ways that you can actually monetize either maintaining, operating, or building on top of whatever land plot and whatever metaverse world. So we give examples from the big popular ones all the way to like the old school ones. So like, what is that? One Life, as well as like Decentraland, or talking about the Uplift, which is the primary one that we focus on is Uplift. But we give a combination of a little bit of background history, how to understand the differences between, do you actually need a blockchain to be a part of it, to be a metaverse? And the answer is no, you don't, because there are a number of platforms that existed before blockchain became a thing. But the idea is to understand a little bit of the history, how to understand seeing a scam, and things that you could do potentially to earn something. And we ain't promising you're gonna earn nothing, because most of the folks, for what we're like breaking down, most folks ain't gonna actually do the work that's required. Like, it's just like how real estate works. You get the different lessons in the business models, but if you don't actually take the time to like learn the process and procedure, your success is gonna be nil to minimal.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna ask you about this new NFT standard too in a minute here. My man, Debate Crypto. Tell everybody about your project, because I really like what you're doing. Very unique. Very unique. It's mixing survival with the crypto or blockchain space. So I'm definitely want the audience to know about you.
Yeah, we've got a free mint coming up. Actually, that'll be within the next couple of weeks. We were gonna do it on July 4th, and then after talking about it, we were like, you know what? As much as the date makes sense for what we're doing, the reality is a lot of people are going to be popping drinks, sitting by the pool, doing family stuff. And we're like, maybe this doesn't make sense for the 4th. So we're doing a couple things with the smart contract, but ultimately what it is, it's called Danger Close Alpha. In the crypto space, people are preparing, right? They're just preparing for the fall of the dollar and other assets. In Danger Close Alpha, we're trying to get people prepared for the fact that, like, unfortunately, the reality is we got a lot of chaos going on in our world, right? And so I believe, and Miguel, Blockchain Crusader, my business partner, believes that we should be able to share and help people get educated on the fact that they should be able to take care of their family should something happen. And so we are doing in real life stuff. One of our mints, you're going to get an actual 3-day crypto survival boot camp. It's a prepper boot camp in real life, in person. We're doing tons of utility that's teaching people how to actually get themselves prepared. It's super dope, something totally different. Nobody else has done anything like this. And we're excited. We're gonna start with the free mint. We're calling it the stimulus drop. We're stimulating this prepper and this crypto community.
Some blockchain stimmies in this joint. Okay.
We're giving a little different kind of stimmy. We're actually going to provide something, not just print it off.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
And then we're going to be doing a bug out drop, which is super exclusive. There's only going to be 500 of them dropped. And then chapter 1, we've got an artist from DC Comics that we hired, and he's freaking fantastic. His name's Kanan White. He's super dope. We love the art on top of everything else, and we've got big plans for long term with it. So hopefully y'all jump in and get involved. Jump into the Discord. I'll make sure to drop that over into the chat or something.
Yeah,
actually, Sean, I see you in the chat, or Shambles. Will you guys drop the Discord into the chat for me, please? Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Great. Appreciate you guys coming on today, this Sunday holiday. But I wanted to ask you guys, this wasn't really on the list of topics, but are you familiar with this like new non-fungible value token idea that's been floating around? Have you guys heard anything about this?
No.
Trekk?
I'm going to say no. Like, who wrote it?
So this was a Medium post written. It was written by Honestpreneurs Academy. I came across this a couple of days ago. It's actually pretty old. It was written on April 29th, I believe.
Well, what is it? What's the overall piece? I mean, what exactly are they providing?
I mean, so from what I understand, this is setting a new standard for NFT space to overcome the mentioned problems. We set a new standard in the NFT space, which is called non-fungible value token.
Okay.
It's establishing, so they say these NFVTs not only as a new groundbreaking standard in the NFT space, but also as a new attractive asset class with 3 ROI investment. That means return on investment options. So you can ROI through the possibility of significant price increase, just like, your traditional NFTs. Secondly, ROI through the utility value of the NFVT equals very safe ROI. The possibility, thirdly, to lend access to your NFVT utility for a free to gain passive income. Sounds like another Ponzi scheme to me.
Sounds like a bunch of buzzwords to me, bro. If you want me to just take it right off the top of my dome, sounds like a bunch of buzzwords. Buzz.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of the buzzword packing that I'm seeing. Like when we were in New York, Trekk, and you were out there, Keeper, as well.
Yeah.
Like everything was like, it was like a run-on sentence of buzzwords. Like, yeah, we're a blockchain, Web3, NFT, crypto. I'm like, damn, dog, just tell me what you doing.
Yeah,
just tell me what you doing
in English. Just give me an English
in
answer.
English.
What are y'all doing?
Right.
That right there, though, that was the new version of how ICOs went to IEOs, and then IEOs,
this is what I was getting to.
Yeah,
this is what I wanted to see from you, Trekk, being in it a little bit longer. Like, it seems like it's one of those evolutions of NFTs, like, because that wave is kind of died just because of the bear market. Let's come up with and use a new one that is really the same thing all over again, right? I just think you need to create value and stop adding definitions to stuff. Just create value, like what Crypto Keeper is doing. Create the value, and then people will come and purchase the NFTs because they'll need the NFTs.
Yeah.
So the other interest, like I didn't read the thing, but I would imagine that what they're also trying to do, because it's the same thing that happened with the whole ICO to IDO stuff, is that they're moving away from the retail folks and pushing towards the institutional level folks. Like, because that's what that kind of reads like to me when you start really talking about, well, we have X amount of guarantees of revenue model kind of stuff, and like how it could be loosely framed to be a better transition to a security. Like, that's what that like kind of reads like to me. But I could be wrong.
They already got an NFVT DAO.
They got a DAO, baby.
They got a DAO. It ain't real unless you got a DAO linked up in there somehow.
That's right. Yeah, we'll see. At the end of the day, I think it's exactly what you said, though, Blood. It's about providing value. We actually had a sit down. I'm not going to name the company, but we had a sit down with the company recently, and basically they brought this idea to us that basically they're trying to bridge the kind of like coupon game in the form of NFTs, and basically saying, hey, this company will provide at point of sale a discount if you hold this NFT. And like the idea was like, okay, that's a simple idea. It actually can solve somewhat of a problem, and it just made sense. I think when you simplify things like that and just have a conversation, hey, Here's the thing that we can do in real life that freaking works. Okay, fine. But when it just comes down to, hey, how can I structure this so I can confuse as many people as possible, make sure that the people that I want to be confused but still tossing money in are doing that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what sometimes people do. They try to hit all those buzzwords, and it sounds really good but you have no idea what they actually do.
Okay,
Right.
can I throw something on that one?
Yeah.
To me, that only makes sense to be able to scale if you throw KYC in that.
If you throw KYC into what, the coupon thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I'll but guarantee you they will. I don't have all of the details. I just thought that it was a simplified idea. I don't even think it's going to make sense for what we were talking about with them. But I just said, hey, it solves a problem. I could see it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many we have right now, but let's get the likes up so we can get more people on the show. One of the livest, most informative, coolest guests you'll have on a crypto live stream. I want to get into the first article or subject, ladies and gentlemen. Always got to pay homage to Zero Hedge because I have to credit them for getting me into crypto. But Zero Hedge has an article about Sam Bankman-Fried owning does he own everything is a question, and is this putting him and Alameda FTX in a bad position? I want to get some feedback from you guys on this whole situation. He's going around and gobbling up everything, almost akin to I heard this analogy, Trekk. FTX Alameda is almost like JP Morgan back in the 1920s, 30s. You saw that one?
Yeah, I saw that.
Kind of comparing JP Morgan or FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried to JP Morgan, and them basically lending money to the government in the crisis, in the Great Depression. So I want to start with you, Alpha. What's your take on Sam Bankman-Fried at this juncture?
So, we're seeing it everywhere. He is gobbling everything up. He's buying it. But at some point, he can be a multi-billionaire, but the assets that he's buying and the power that he's actually acquiring through purchasing these, right, is where I think it's interesting. I think that if we look around our government, for example, there are a lot of puppet strings, right? There's a lot of puppeteers in the background that don't want to be named, that are facilitating things to happen. So when I see a takeover like this, specifically from one person, I'm going to take this a little bit farther. He also was the largest contributor to the Biden administration, happening at the same. I don't know if you knew this or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so he's the single largest contributor to the Biden administration as far as their campaign goes. Okay,
wow. And
so I see that combined with everything that he's now gobbling up and being able to gobble up for pennies on a dollar, and it makes me ask the question, who's pulling strings here for this man? Like, he can have all the money in the world, but at some point, somebody is ushering in and saying, "Hey, this is your man. This is who we want in that position."
Wouldn't it be this is a crazy conspiracy theory right here. This is all I'm just conjuring this up. No facts behind it. Wouldn't it be interesting if Sam Bankman-Fried caused Luna to go down and then boom, chain reaction? He's a smart guy, right? I'm just saying that would be interesting.
I wouldn't put it past any of them.
I wouldn't put it past him. Absolutely not. Especially if he clicked up with old Sleepy Joe. Yeah. Trekk, what's your take on Sam Bankman-Fried and these moves that he's making? I will say this before you start. I will say, I think it is good to see private entities bailing out other private/public entities, like within the space, instead of taxpayer dollars doing it. Yeah. I'd definitely rather see that, right? Let's just start there. But what's your take on Sam Bankman-Fried?
I mean, he's a proxy.
Okay, so it sounds like kind of my theory. You kind of running with my theory, huh?
So, again, not we all, but like us in particular, as content people who focus on crypto news and events, we pay attention to the news more than most people. And then you have X amount of different conversations, the more you move around in the space and you start to see certain patterns. and it's not the things that just get pushed, quote, like in the mainstream media thing. Like this right here to me is one of those, like, it ain't really it's a nothing burger, because it's not that you're actually breaking down like, hey, let's talk about the money that goes behind FTX. That's not what's being discussed in this article here. Yep. It's about, hey, this focal point guy, he's about to be the new age JP Morgan of the crypto space, which is funny because he's not even about crypto. And like 10 Pound brought this up on the last live stream. He said he doesn't care about any of the ideas and that stuff. He's just about making the money, but he's making these moves that he's making for the folks behind him who are like, okay, you seem very smart. You have a good business DevOps team. Y'all do pretty good research. And for what it seems like, at least right now, their research is leading them to take the actions that they're taking. And they're making a relatively long run bet on, if we can cover various sectors and like from the front end to the back end of the space, in the long run, it will put FTX in a way better position than the folks who are going to do the downsizing, from the folks who are going to end up closing out, and from the folks who are going to end up, basically selling out because, hey, they had funky business models to begin with. Like, that's that.
Yeah, and let me add to that. Now, check out the ability now. If we take all of these different companies with different, we'll say, possible outcomes, right? You get a whole bunch of people in a room and you introduce an idea, and you're going to have a whole bunch of different outcomes as to what could happen depending on who responds how. Now we say, okay, well, we've got where we want that. We know who has the idea in their head for the outcome that we want. So now let's usher in, just like you were talking about, some of the money in the background. Where is a lot of this actually coming from? Mm-hmm. Let's usher it into his pockets, put it into FTX, and then the decision just really needs to flow through. It's kind of like, I mean, think about it. Almost all the news broadcasting stations are owned by BlackRock, right there. So legitimately, if you can get to that point, if you can go be the person making the decision right here at BlackRock, then it funnels out everywhere else. And I think that's what's starting to happen here. Because
I will say,
here's the central point.
FTX jumped out there real bold, like with no problem. Like they had unlimited money backing them. Mm-hmm. They just started immediately. Like, okay, immediately, right?
Yep.
Now we know there are other players in the game that has maybe, if not the same amount of capital, maybe even more, i.e. CZ, Binance, right? Oh, yeah. Why didn't Binance come out and say, I'm going to start acquiring some of this stuff? They got to have more money than FTX.
Because, right? And the business makes sense to buy cents on the dollar.
It does make sense on cents of the dollar. On the cents of the dollar. Absolutely. Trekk.
I will argue because Binance is looking more at their international footprint and the up and coming sectors. So like that's the moving around Latin America, that's the moving around Africa, that's the moving around Eastern Europe, that's moving around Asia. They're looking at the market opportunities that are going to come up, that are growing right now, as opposed to like, yeah, FTX is doing stuff over here in the States because like, it's always positioned that like the American market is the place that if you make it, like you made it, you're known. And yeah, we spend and we have money, and like then we have the whole jurisdiction thing that like influences other areas around the globe. But I think they're playing in two different kind of pools.
Okay.
If that makes
do you
sense.
think? Trekk, let me ask you. Do you think that if they went to Binance to CZ and said, "Hey, listen, $25 million buys BlockFi," do you think that he would
exactly? That's a no-brainer.
I think there's not even a question about $25 million.
Right.
Struck the check.
Exactly. Whether or not it's international or domestic, to me that's a layup. So I say all that to say, it does seem suspicious to me that FTX is the only one. We know they wouldn't come out with like a Coinbase to come acquire all these different companies. That looks too much like the Wall Street guys are circling in, buying up distressed assets. That looks too much like a conspiracy, or will fall into that. So they pick a company like FTX. Again, this is all theoretical. I have no evidence of this, so don't go running off saying stuff. I'm just talking with these fellas. FTX would seem like a perfect conduit or proxy, as Trekk said, to pull something off like this.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Trekk.
I mean, yeah, I think that, like you said, the Coinbase thing would look too obvious on the front. And like I said, like for the most part, when you hear these stories, you always hear the front person first, who's the figurehead. It's the same
Right.
thing with Coinbase that you get Brian Armstrong, right? But
Mm-hmm.
no one really digs into when you go further up the money bank food chain. That's where it started getting murky on who's who. Everything is about like, oh well, they'll give you one or two investment firms, but like there's people bigger than the investment firm. You never get the big name whale folks who are putting the money into the investment firm. You'll get the investment firm is the first layer proxy. The second layer is the Brian Armstrong and Sam Bankman-Fried. This is just me throwing out my little how I perceive all of this stuff. For those of you who are actually working in the space in the more like you're inside the business on that level of this industry, all right, I might be way the hell wrong, but here's how it looks optically out here.
Also, I agree with you. I think, and I know this doesn't matter in today's age, but the heck it does. I need 29 years old. So we're ushering in and giving like some of the most power that you could, if you control the money, you control just about anything. And they're doing, I mean, I think he's 29, he's 30. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's 29 years old is what I think.
He's under 30, I believe.
He's under 30. And that just seems insane to me. I know I'll just use myself an example, and I might not be the good example to use, but damn, I can see how much I've matured from 30 to 38. It's not even the same. It's not even the same ball field.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I want to peel back this onion though a little bit on this whole situation with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and Alameda. I don't know if you guys heard more details about what's going on with BlockFi and Morgan Creek Digital. I've had the co-founder of Morgan Creek Digital on my show. I don't know if you remember Trekk, my man Jason Williams from Morgan Creek Digital. I had him on maybe a year and a half ago. His tweets look much more humble now than they were.
Good bear market will do that.
Boy,
too, right?
Oh my God! Like $25 million is what they picked up BlockFi for, and it was valued. I said in the intro, I think I said like 3 billion. I think it was like 4.
I think it was even higher.
So
than
4
that.
point. Yeah,
it was stupid. Yeah.
So pennies on the dollar. Everybody pretty much. So I went into and read guys a little bit further into this deal because it's a structured deal where if they exercise a credit line of 200 million, then so it really is like 25 million if they end up pulling all of the credit line that they extended to them of 200 million. So 25 million would be the basically buyout if they ended up doing the pull on the credit line of 200 million. So it's a range between 25 million and 200 million. The guy from BlockFi tried to spin it like it was, he spun it and people called him out on it basically on Twitter. They ripped his ass a new one. I was cracking up. So basically they are done. All the investors like Morgan Creek Digital, done. They got wiped out pretty much. It's over. So it's just crazy. And I'm just like, what do you guys feel like the total ramifications of this? Are we done with this contagion? We saw with Voyager, they stopped withdrawals and deposits, right? A couple of days ago. Did you guys hear about that?
Seen that one.
It is getting real, and I'm just, remember Crypto Keeper, I told you on your show, I was on your live stream, me and Face, and you asked us, this was like right when we had that massive drop, right? I said, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I ain't never been concerned in crypto.
Yep.
Until now, and 2 weeks later, I'm even more concerned.
Yeah,
I'm even more concerned. How do you guys feel about this contagion? I have a list here on the screen. You guys will see from I think it's Ape Digest. He has a list of all the potential crypto contagion companies here: Nexio, Genesis Global Trading, BitMEX. We got CoinFlex. We know CoinFlex is in trouble. They were supposed to relaunch, couldn't do it. They didn't raise enough capital. They needed 45 million, couldn't do it. D-Finance Capital. I mean, the list is growing. Maple Finance is on there. How do you guys feel about this? Is this more of a problem than maybe even your common crypto people understand?
So yeah, for sure. I think it is, because I think you had in a bull market, we've talked about this, and if the three of us have been through a bear market before, so we can speak on this. In a bull market, you can throw darts at random projects, and you could hit one or two, and boom, you're making money. So
Ray Charles.
Yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
Ray Charles in a bull market can pick the right stock.
Exactly. And so now put that in a business sense, where you start a business right prior to a bull market. The market starts going nuts. Let's say you're an inexperienced business owner, but your business just all of a sudden is, it is just going, just absolutely ripping and running. So what do? You say, okay, so I own a couple businesses myself. So what a business owner would normally do is say, okay, what's the fastest way to keep this going? And it's like, oh, I need more influx of cash so that I can build up, so that I can hire more people, so that I can leverage this, so that I can, and all of a sudden you look back and you are absolutely in the only way that the scheme keeps going, the business keeps rocking and rolling, is if the market continues to have the liquidity and the amount of push that it does. So the moment that it stopped, it was like, oh my God, what did we do? Why are we what? And you look, and they look around and they say, I don't know how we got here, even though we do. Greed, right? Greed brought us here, right?
Of course.
And now it's like, well, I don't know how to get out, because the government ain't going to bail us out, which I don't think that they should. And even the private sector is bailing each other out. I think that's hey, if you want to, are you really bailing them out, or are you really just buying out their ability to help you in the long run? And that's,
right. And again, this is what a free market looks like, though, Keeper. People say they want free markets. Well, this is what it looks like. No government bailout.
Yep.
It is really, like you said, not a bailout from other private companies, but acquiring, is more of an acquisition or takeover.
Resources.
Yep.
What do you say, Trekk?
It's talent and resources. This is the first wave that we're going to see, or that we're watching play out, about the acquisition of talent and resources. You got, you got a team of 10 analysts, and 2 of them are just smashing it out the park when they put out the reports for your company. Your company starts going under, you're going to look to downsize. You're going to really try to figure out how to keep those 2, and you ain't going to worry about the other 8. And then here comes somebody telling you, listen, I got this bag of money. I just take your whole company. And you're like, well, you know what? I can start another company. Bump it. And then you go about your business.
Right.
Not the funny haha, but the thing that really gets me now is realizing that we talk about transparency and this whole narrative of blockchain allows you to see everything that goes on. Here's the funny irony of this shit. The amount of non-transparent shit going on the back end, from the founders to the accounting people to the marketing people, none of that is on blockchain.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not on chain. This is the business end of blockchain. This is the industry side of blockchain. That's not on chain.
Right. And so here you have it, that what has traditionally gone on in traditional finance as well as business development to scale, right? As Triple pointed out, you need to be able to maintain the momentum. So you take in more debt to scale your business in order to make more revenue.
Absolutely.
To be able to. But this irony to me about the non-transparent business agreements and intermingling of things going on, and then when one part messes up, it's like a spider web. It eventually reverberates over to the other side, right? And then you get labeled, oh, this was a scam. It's like, nah, it wasn't a scam. It was either a scam. That the business model wasn't sound to begin with, or it was a sound business model. But the issue is it didn't it didn't have sustainability, or you scale too fast.
Yep.
Because why? Oh, we got to compete and still be in the horse race with everyone else who's in our market or who's within our sector. And so you have that whole mentality and everything running, which still runs from the same point of, yo, it's greed from the traditional business setup side. Like, I heard something the other day that said the S&P 500, the average lifespan for a startup or something like that is like 3 years or something. The average lifespan for like a traditional business on that list is like now down to 15 years or something. Like, we've cut stuff down, thank you to technology, but we're going through this.
Your average career, your average time at a specific company is down to like 3 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To simplify it, man, I own a construction company, and I'll simplify it. It would be like my construction company takes off, right? And I'm like, oh man, I could take over this whole freaking market. So I hire 150 new people, like just go on the idea that I have so much work rolling in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, lumber prices, inflation, all of these, materials issues start to happen. Now I look around, I got hundreds of people that I have working for me that I owe money to on a regular basis, right? And at some point, it's not sustainable, and that's essentially all that was happening here. It was growing a business too big, too fast, without the actual business venture, like the continuation of it. It was so short term, so short. It was so bull market heavy that it couldn't sustain once the freaking market went pop. And that's I think it's really that simple.
Is that and also, now we have to, and I said this on Big Boy's show last week. I'm like, DeFi as we know it is over, in my opinion. And CeFi is done. They're completely done. But even DeFi is affected by this, and I think people are going to take a second look at 20% APYs, 40% APYs.
It's not sustainable, for sure.
It's not sustainable. And so I think that's at the end of the day, to me, that's the lesson that should have been learned here. Even 8%, is it really sustainable? We're in a 0% environment on the traditional side. So you have to ask yourself, where is Celsius getting the yield if we ain't getting none in the traditional market? It's not like they can arbitrage it, right? And let's say, traditional markets is giving us 10%. We're only getting, 8% in the crypto markets. They can go over there, play with the money, come back. But when it's 0% over there, you ain't getting shit from them. Where are you getting the yield? How are you paying 8% back to the people who are already in?
Uh-huh.
It is a Ponzi scheme, but it's not like maliciously. Right. They like you said, they just got overzealous, and when that pullback happened,
it worked until it didn't.
What did Tyson say? It works until you get punched in the face.
Everybody's got a plan until
everybody's got
a face. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing, guys, I just want to reiterate, like, again, I was on Crypto Keeper show a couple weekends ago, and I said then, I am very concerned. And I'm here to tell you today, I am very concerned today. Like, seriously, we're going to talk about Robert Kiyosaki here in a minute and his predictions.
Yo, hold on. Let me ask a question on this, though.
Okay.
Is it being concerned because a sizable influx of the people who've come in from, let's say, C19 forward don't value the up and downside that comes with being economically sovereign? Because I feel like you have the financial side folks who are like, yo, listen, we just trying to make as much gains as we can. We ain't even worried about how this is gonna play out at Main Street, right? This is a horse bet race for them. It's like, all right, I'm gonna put money on this horse, that horse, that horse, that horse, and then it goes a layer down, and they doing the same thing. They're layered down. At the retail level, it's not the same mentality as the folks who are the ones being the bank dishing out the funds. It's just, all right, I know out of the 15 of these things that I put some capital in, at least 2 of them is going to hit. I ain't worried about the repercussions of the other stuff because I'm still secure over in, like, the quote real world other side. And I'm so removed from the directness of the crypto space and like the murkiness of the regulatory part of it. If only one hits and everything else crashes, I'm still walking away a-okay. Like, it's a different mentality for the folks up here versus the folks who are down here at this retail level who don't understand the mechanisms and connections going on behind the scenes. Like, you figuring, oh, I'm just learning how to trade, I'm flipping NFTs, and I'm making my little short-term gains, right? I've been making gains since, 2020. All right, bet. Like, you ain't even been here for a whole cycle yet, but all right, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know where, as far as what you were directly asking me, like my concern is that we do go lower than I even thought we would go because of the contagion. I don't think it's done. There have been rumors now. It's floating around. And here's the problem with contagion. And I'll say this in a second, but there's rumors around KuCoin having liquidity issues. Now,
I've seen that.
Yeah, I saw that.
So the problem with contagion is that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if I'm telling you on Crypto Blood TV, yeah, I'm concerned, you guys need to get off of exchanges. If you listen to me and you listen to Keeper, you listen to Trekk, you listen to BitBoy, if everyone pulls their money off the exchange, then those exchanges become insolvent. Trekk, those exchanges become insolvent because we're right.
It's a fact.
Trekk.
Sure.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying because you said listen to BitBoy. You got to remember, like he got some dirt on his shirt right now.
What he got dirt on? Help me out. I don't be paying attention, bro. What's going on?
Around Celsius? What? Just because?
What?
Hold on a second.
He's lost money?
No, he's got a lawsuit going on with Celsius. But what are you saying, Trekk? Huh?
He can't even do. We can't execute the lawsuit.
Oh, I didn't hear this. For what?
All right. So one, it was, and okay, let me say, I'm not saying BitBoy is a bad person. This is not me saying that. Don't go back and not saying y'all, but anybody who's listening or whatever. This isn't me throwing dirt on him as a person. This is just in regards to the optics of how the community policing thing looks here. Where, yes, and I will say this, even I told people about Celsius, but I also was telling people like, hey, like this thing, as far as how the space works, it could be good one day and then bad the next day, where he was pushing in a sizable part of the people who followed him. And then when everything started turning, he then turns around and is like, all right, well, we need to sue Celsius for X, Y, and Z things. Then it turns out, I think it was like maybe a couple of days later, he then did another tweet thread that was like, yeah, so it turns out we can't actually do this. We can't actually do the suit against Celsius for some of the things that were in the terms of service and something else I can't remember right now. But it's
I think he was suing Celsius because he couldn't use the interest. He had money in his account to pay his. Huh?
They couldn't. It was something about the withdrawal side of it.
No, he couldn't take the funds that were in there to service his debt, his loan. He had ample amount of money in his account to service the loan that he had out in Celsius.
Yeah, and they were asking.
Celsius was asking for more money
for somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that was I think the reason he was trying to sue
initially. I'm throwing this out there as just me making my woo-woo thought. No.
Okay.
I think he had money from other folks that he ended up pushing in through that platform. And they were like, yo, we want our money. And he's like, oh, I can't do nothing. Well, they're like, well, we're going to sue you. And he's like, no, you can't sue me. You got to sue them.
Well, at the end of the day, that's going to end up being what, like, whether that happened, didn't happen, whatever the case may be. That's going to be where this whole this whole freaking market is headed. Everybody trying to point the finger at somebody else, and where can I get my money? How can I get my money? And the bottom line is, and I think both of y'all know this, you shouldn't have been putting money in that you weren't prepared to lose. Anytime you invest, I did a video on it today on TikTok. It is a risk. You are gambling. You are gambling. If there is not a guaranteed return, and there ain't no such thing as a guarantee, then you are gambling.
And that's what I
But
never really said this.
It didn't feel
well,
like
the
that.
thing is, I never really said this, but I always wondered in the back of my mind, like, when, C5 was kind of getting hot in 2019, 20.
It was too easy.
I'm like, how are they guaranteeing this 8%, bro? Like, this is crazy. But I was like, hey, it's working.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, that's that part of the mentality of the retail side is, I don't care about the downside, the risk, the
this is hilarious.
Preference of.
Shout out to Virgil. I want to speak to your crypto manager. Can I speak to the crypto manager, please? Get him on the line.
But like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about. And then the folks who are up on the top end, as far as being the funders for these proxies and startup projects and whatever, lending pool thing, to them, this is just, all right, I'm betting on the horses. I could lose 5 of these shits. I don't care. It's a difference in where you are in
That's hindsight, though, Trekk. We all know that when you're in the moment, you're getting that guaranteed 8% on $1 million, 500.
Feels good.
It's excellent, bro. That's $80K a year.
Tell me the average person was getting 8% on $1 million who was using Celsius.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's all relative, right? So if you got only 10K, what are you getting? Like $800 a year?
$80.
Still,
you said 8%. No. I'm sorry, 800.
You that's good money.
Yeah.
Right.
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 Until it's not.
Exactly.
Until it's no longer there.
But I feel like we pushed very much so away from understanding. If you're talking about economic sovereignty,
exactly,
it all comes with various types of risk. And most of the folks coming in don't take that into account, like, because.
Okay, so to sum this up real quick, I want to ask, I'll go with you first, Crypto Keeper. What are you telling your followers? Stay off exchanges, be in cat. Like, what do you? I mean, not financial advice, but what's your overarching kind of strategy right now on your channel?
My thing's always been dollar cost averaging, right? We're here for entertainment, right? But let me entertain you with an idea. It's called dollar cost averaging, right? So we've always been that. And when it's on the way down, hey, you're averaging down. When it's on the way up, well, shoot, that stinks. But at the end of the day, you're playing the averages. But hardware wallets, it's always been hardware wallets. Ledger just introduced an opportunity to basically start earning yield while it's sitting in your hardware wallet. And I said, whoa. Let's hold up for a second. If you are earning yield, the word yield brings caution. There is risk attached to that. People were like, oh yeah, I still hold my keys, this, that, and the third. Whoa. You better check out all of the details before you start earning yield on something that's sitting in your hardware wallet. Because I promise you, they have to make money to be able to pay you money. It's not like they're just like, oh, we want to do this charitable effort and we want to pay everybody. Nah, ain't how it works. So hardware wallets for sure. I mean, I actually was just having a conversation yesterday and I said, I don't keep a ton of crypto on exchanges. I have a little bit, not a crazy number, but I have a little bit that I would usually be moving around. I literally was just saying I need to spend some time today and tomorrow just cleaning that mess up, and because I'm not selling out of anything of what what I have, so I just need to just get it all over into my hardware wallet. So that's for me. Yeah.
Trekk.
Wait, the question was about the hardware wallets? I'm sorry.
No, more so like, what's your overarching invest, like, where do you, I know you're not investing, not price talk, but like, what's your overarching like strategy or message that you tell your audience in times like this where we have crypto contagion? What are you telling them you're doing?
Oh, I don't tell people exactly what I'm doing first off. No. Because, and I preface it with, you're not
don't trust the black guy. Don't trust the black guy with the shades on.
Yeah. Like, one, and then two, you're not going to do the work that I do to be aware of all the things going on in the space. And I leave a shit ton of money on the table. Like, dead ass. I leave a hell of a ton of money on the table because I don't jump into certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't jump in, like, I don't do the trading stuff like that. I don't jump into the NFT flipping. I'm not about running around and trying to find all of the liquidity pool stuff. Like, I know what my weaknesses are. I know the things that I'm okay with staying away from. I know where I want to build my strengths in. And for the most part, my bottom line thing is, listen, take the time to just learn.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a little bit of, once you start jumping in and actually like executing things, you're going to make mistakes. Learn from the mistake, follow and cross-reference the information you have. Question everything I tell you, cross-reference it with you, cross-reference it with CryptoKeep. Like, have more than one source of information. Like, bottom line, take time to learn and have more than one source of information. But as for follow me,
well, I'm telling my audience, stop, drop, and roll, because nigga, it's a fire. Okay, it is a fire. We got some problems. Okay, Mayday, Mayday. We need emergency landing. I'm concerned, man.
But you're not telling your audience to dump when things are just absolutely in the free. I mean, that'd be doing the opposite.
You can't do that. You can't do that. No,
you can tell them moving forward, maybe getting into some cash, getting in, looking at gold, being diversified. But we've been telling people to diversify forever, and people say, "Nah, just crypto." Have you seen how my portfolio is doing? Well, hey, I felt it too, but let me show you my portfolio right now.
Right. So it's kind of late to go to cash. Maybe not, because we can go. If today we go down another 60-70%, it ain't too late to go to cash, right? But I would say, I just think that people should understand from my perspective. Yes, dollar cost average in for sure. I've been a big proponent of that because no one knows the bottom. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to be there at the bottom to buy, because that's just statistically, someone has to be at the bottom buying when the bottom does happen, right? Mm-hmm. But I would say it is different this time. I do think it's different this time from previous bear markets that we've had, and I've seen and witnessed and been in about 4 or 5 of them. Now, it does feel different this time. I'm not going to lie, because we've never seen crypto contagion. This is new. This is like, you know what I mean? This is some Bear Stearns.
Do you think that it's
Lehman Brothers type stuff? But for crypto,
do you think though that it is 100% an actual fundamental problem in the crypto space because of basically what yield and what kind of opportunities they gave to the people, or do you think that was part of the problem? Now we're ushering in the ability to expose crypto and push everybody back towards the old financial system and make people very wary and very scared. And then if you are going to do crypto, you can only do it this way. And here comes regulation. Do you think that it's partially trying to usher people into this new way of doing
I personally
crypto?
Don't think so.
Okay.
I personally don't.
You just think it is flat out.
It was just greed.
This is what happened.
It was
because
just
of greed. And now
it was easy money.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at it, when the money printer started, the latest wave, it's been parabolic for stocks, for crypto, for the mania, the values of NFTs. All that is tied to when we start pumping. If you look back, I was reading. I don't know if you guys know this fact. Since 2008, we have pumped in $30 trillion. Now, all of it didn't go into the market. Only the last 2-3 years, when we had the stimulus money from the COVID situation, did we really see M1 go directly injected into the people's hand. Prior to that, it was mostly going to the banks. They were playing the shell game, buying mortgage-backed securities, moving them around, whatever. But $30 trillion, bro. That's insane to me. That's mind-boggling. Definitely mind-boggling. Shout out to everybody in the chat rooms right now. We're having a great conversation. About 53 minutes in. I want to just really quickly, we talked about hard wallets. At the end of this stream, I will be doing another hardware wallet giveaway for all YouTube members. So all the ones that went above and beyond to support CBTV, we will be doing an Arculus hardware wallet. We've given away 2 so far. It's a $99 retail value, so we'll be doing another one at the end of this feed, just to let everyone know. But yeah, good conversations, good comments in the in the comment section. Make sure you guys hit those thumbs up as well. So let's go on to the next one, and it's kind of still piggybacks off of what we were talking about as far as Sam Bankman-Fried and bailing out. He's now looking at, and I really want to get you guys' opinion about this because this is an angle I haven't thought about. He's starting to look at bailing out the miners.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I'm gonna go to Trekk on this one. He's an OG. What does this mean? If a miner goes down, now we're talking about direct issues, or it's directly related to the security of the blockchain.
I mean,
talk to me about this. You think this is an issue?
It's again like his biz dev team. They on fire.
Hey, he's got the Snoop Dogg. Hey, he got the Snoop Dogg biz dev team of crypto, right?
Yep.
Bruh,
He is on it.
Fire.
He is on it.
They doing their homework to figure out the different parts of the space and what parts actually make the most sense to acquire. Is it going to have a turnaround, or at least is it going to put them in a more advantageous situation 5 years out versus 10 years out? Is some things just in order to be able to like knock somebody off the block as a competitor? This part, as far as the miners, I don't know how it would play out for them per se, but it does put them in a key essential part of how this ecosystem works. That's a key essential part. The miners is a key essential part.
If SBF continues on, Keeper, I mean, I could even see some like, what do you call it? Antitrust issues, lawsuits coming up against FTX and Alameda because they're going to own too much of the space. Or do you think do you think government agencies are going to care, Department of Justice and stuff, whatever, who's over antitrust laws? Do you think they're even going to care? Or will they go after him?
This is where what I was saying earlier kind of kicks in. Like, I don't know, like how deeply connected is he really? And I believe that he is deeply connected. And so right now we have an unregulated space, largely unregulated space. So what do we got? What do? We take advantage while it is largely unregulated. Let's go ahead and see what I can get away with. Right. This is our pawn. Let's see what kind of moves we can make with him, that being Sam Bankman-Fried, right? These massive institutions, these massive players, the people that Trekk was talking about earlier where we don't know their name. You know, this is something that we've talked about before. I don't believe that Elon Musk is the richest. I don't believe that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world either. Right. And so I believe that there's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors. The people that do not want to have their name out there, that do not want you to know.
Putin is the richest man in the
world.
There you
go. Well, there's another one, but you'll never hear somebody say that. Like, or I mean, you'll never see that on paper where there's
not at
Vladimir
all.
Putin. No. And so what I think will happen is they'll see how far can we go with this? What can it actually do? What kind of results do we get from it? And then at the point that the shift happens and we start trying to figure out, is the CFTC regulating? Is the SEC? They've already said, I just heard, I can't believe more people weren't talking about it the other day. I heard old Gary Gensler talking about how Bitcoin is a commodity. And so now, so what's going to happen here?
The CFTC and all of those agencies already looked at it as a commodity.
I agree.
Gensler is with what? He's with the SEC?
He's with the SEC.
Used to be?
He's with the SEC.
He's with the SEC? Okay.
Or I guess
was
Gary still with the SEC?
I don't know.
Old dirty Gary. I think he still is. But in any event, and so it begs the question, well, who is actually going to make these decisions? And when the decisions do happen, who is in who's in the right spot? Who's sitting there? So again, it's all about the who do you know? What are they actually doing for you? And I guess we'll see what that
Sean makes a good point. He says he doesn't think they'll go after SBF because the government and big banks want a weak crypto industry that is consolidated and centrashalized.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. That's a great. Sean's awesome.
Yes, he is.
That's great. Did you hear what he said? Did you see what he said earlier about Mashinsky called him about his car's
warranty? Is it true? It was rumored that Mashinsky was on the run. Is that true, or that was a rumor?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's not. I can't see it because he's doing a presentation at an event. I don't know if it's going to be a tele event though, but I know he's on the list of speakers for an event, I think next month in the Bahamas.
So they know where he's at anyway.
So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if people still got his name on stuff, he can't be in that much trouble.
Satoshi said if they ain't going after Bezos, they ain't going after Alameda, which is a great point. You know what I mean?
Satoshi made a very good point. Satoshi Boulevard. Shout out to Satoshi Boulevard. Saw him down in Austin. Holla at him. So what about, he said no more sex. Yeah, no more sex, ladies and gentlemen. Become celibate in the crypto game. Please. Please. No more sex in the champagne room. How about that?
You got to pull out. Pull out. Have you seen what's going on in this government?
Man, we talked about that, last weekend? You missed that one, Keeper. We talked about the Roe versus Wade. Yes.
Oh, boy. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that on Debate Crypto, but not to get us off track, but the core of that is actually on privacy, on like human rights and actual like privacy of your own self and everything. It wasn't actually originally an abortion thing. So the crazy part is everybody focuses on this another buzzword, which is abortion, when in reality they're just busy taking away rights, human liberties, period, at your privacy as a whole. It's pretty crazy. I wish I'd have been on for that one.
Yeah, that was a good talk, because I brought up the fact that this is why I don't consider myself like a straight Republican, because to me though, I saw your TikTok, Keeper, the girl that was making the pointing out the contradiction that the Democrats were making, but I was also saying it was contradictory to the Republicans too, because to me I'm like, okay, you guys want us to have the right to get the vax or not, right? But then we can't turn around and not give women the right to.
It's literally the exact reason why I preach and I talk about it a lot. This isn't, we can't do the left, right. We can't do the old, young. We can't do women, men. We can't do that black, white, whatever. It's just causing division, and it's divide and conquer. And I talk about it all the time. It's exactly what these governments want. They want us divided, because together we stand strong. If we're divided, pointing the finger, trying to fight, we're distracted, we're this, that, and the third. Man, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. You're gonna have to have me on one of your live streams to talk about that. I got a lot of opinion on that. So the next one, let's talk about this, because I've been very critical of your guy El Salvador president.
Nayib Bukele.
How you say his name?
Nayib Bukele.
Nayib Bukele. So this guy bought another $1 million worth of Bitcoin the other day. Okay, he's saying that this is still a long game, right? And I agree with him. And I'm bringing this up because this is a contrast. I don't have any problem with this per se, other than he's using taxpayer dollars. If the people of the country don't really want to do this, which it seems is a big pushback on, he's kind of using taxpayer dollars when you got infrastructure issues. Dude, you got a whole bunch of other issues that you should probably be addressing in the short run than buying a speculative asset like Bitcoin. But at least it's not leveraged, right? That's my whole thing with them. Okay, you're buying at a lower price. That's fine, because I do think Bitcoin will head higher in the future.
Oh, yeah.
What's your take, Trekk, on them buying another $1 million worth of Bitcoin here at these prices? It's a good move or not?
I mean, if you're looking at it for the shorter right now, like you said, like, this looks very stupid and this looks very reckless as to be the leader of a country, and you're using your public funds that your citizens are paying into to go to do this speculative thing. None of us can call, is it actually going to be, quote, a good thing for the country as a whole 100% and down the road. I will say, though, I think that with El Salvador and this whole Bitcoin thing, as with a number of other countries, crypto-related and non-crypto-related, these types of moves are more so about getting the overseas money, the out-of-the-country money, to come into the country and into that economic system. Panama is the same thing. Singapore is the same thing. Hong Kong's the same thing. Just different sectors. Like, it's not a crypto thing. they do it in different other financial ways. So that's it.
Keeper, what's your thoughts on your boy buying another $1 million worth of Bitcoin?
I think it's a big no story, bro. I think it's literally, first of all, it's $1 million, right? Not to be funny, but like, I mean, some of our friends buy $1 million worth of freaking bit. It's just not, this is not like some huge, I know it's who it is. And, you know, with them being the first country to do it and this, that, and the third, I think at the end of the day, he's showing it, whether it's just him personally or, you know, I don't know that I'd say,
I want to see him buy $1 million of Bitcoin with his own money.
Right.
Then I'll feel the conviction.
He's showing that that's exactly what I was getting at. He's showing that he has the ability to spend his taxpayers' dollars on Bitcoin, and he believes in it long term. But it also causes a lot of chaos because there's a lot of people that'll say, you know, whether it's news or whether it's truth, there's a lot of people that'll say, wait a minute, like that's not what I did not vote for you to come on and then put my money into Bitcoin, whether you believe,
because they're down 60 million right now. It's unrealized, right? But so it's not a loss; it's an unrealized loss.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, if I'm the taxpayer, and I'm a little upset, right? I got questions. I got questions. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I paired this article though. I paired this with this one. Oh, Laser Eyes.
There's your boy.
My boy.
When I see this, I thought of Cable from the comic books, yo.
Oh yeah.
My boy, I'm so hard on this guy, man. And again, on BitBoy Live, I said about 2-3 months ago, I said this, Keeper. I said Saylor is going to get his nuts clipped.
Oh, I heard. You know what? I heard you say that.
You heard me say that, right?
Yeah.
So my question, I paired it with this one because this guy goes out and buys $10 million worth of Bitcoin at these prices for Microstrategy, but he's down $3 billion. This is a complete just PR stunt. $10 million.
Yeah.
Where do you didn't dollar cost that didn't bring your dollar cost average price down at all. Basically, you. What are you doing, Michael Saylor? Trekk.
Yo, Truth Monster, you funny, bro. You funny. He said, that's hilarious. How is Biden spending your money?
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
So
true. That's true, Truth Monster. Hey, I mean, I can't even respond to you the right way I want to on air. I have to talk to you off air about that, homie.
You're gonna get demonetized for that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Trekk. You gotta read between the lines on that one, homie.
Yo,
okay.
No, but like it's true. It's this news article, like the last news article, I'm gonna argue is just the same mindset of when things quote look down in using traditional metrics of how to value monetizable things. What happens? Everybody come out the woodwork to be like, "Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, look what you're doing. Oh, blah blah," and pointing fingers and da da da. Like, it's to be expected when everything is down. Yes, you're the biggest idiot in the room. Yes, you're moving recklessly. I would also add, like, Bukele and Saylor is like brothers from another mother in regards to how they move.
Right, they kind of moving it simultaneously, right? Do they have like these back channel phone calls like, pump it, you know? I don't know, man. That's funny.
But, I mean, again, like, if this has only been what are we, like 6 months of gold being down, 7 months? We're not even talking about like what happens when we get past this down cycle, the whole, crypto winter thing. We're not even talking about what it's going to look like after the next halving. Like, if they make it, they're going to be some of the biggest geniuses ever.
I just feel like these two examples here just is the biggest crypto virtual signaling that I've seen. Virtual signaling that I've seen, right? That's pretty much what it is. It's just like virtue signaling. Keeper.
Yeah, but I also think that he has so he is in a position financially, it seems, as if even if I think he did get a margin call, but even at that point, he was smart enough to understand, hey, I've got what I need to be able to cover it. And so as we talk about on a much smaller scale, I will say this. I interviewed him at Bitcoin Miami, and you can go check it out on Debate Crypto. It's a couple minute clip, but he laughed at me when I asked him. I said, are you so you, no matter what, you're not going to sell Bitcoin? Because he's always said that. And he very like boldly laughed at me and said, you don't sell your Bitcoin. And so I think that
you do if you get margin call.
Hold on a second. Yeah.
If it's leverage, that's my whole problem with Saylor.
Or you get a loan from Sam Bankman-Fried, and then you go pay it off that way.
Hey, that's a good point. Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried can come in and save the day. But I think that at the end of the day, this is going to go one of two ways. Mm-hmm. One, he's going to go down as the biggest idiot to ever walk the investment earth, or he's going to be God's gift to what investing in the crypto industry really looks like, to what diamond hands really look like. He is going to be the diamond hands, especially if this continues to go a lot lower and stays there for any amount of time. He's going to be diamond handing tens of billions of dollars of unrealized losses. And I think long term, he's going to be insanely wealthy from this. And I don't think that he's made a quote unquote stupid decision, but I think that he is able to gamble with his and his investors' money and has the confidence that, hey, I know where this is headed long term, and you guys need to trust me and get on board with it. I don't know. We'll see.
Great comment here from Anything for Clicks. Saylor been DCNA at the top. I agree.
He's done that a number of times. I think he's bought it like 54K or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. The reason why I think he's going to look like the biggest idiot is because of his first newness to the game.
Oh, he's new.
He's new. He newer than you. Like he's the new.
Mm-hmm.
New from
I think he's 2018, 2019 new, I think.
2020, homie.
2020? I thought he was even a little bit in before that. Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, I think he got in 2020.
Yeah.
I think he's going to look like the biggest idiot because it's leveraged. Most of it is leveraged debt buying of Bitcoin. Again, I brought these two articles up, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a compare and contrast between what your guy over in El Salvador is doing. Granted, is with other people's money, but it's not leveraged. There's no debt behind it. Versus what Microstrategy is doing, in my opinion. I think he's very irresponsible, and that's what the analyst actually said in this article. He said this is reckless. Okay, a portfolio management guy said this is reckless behavior that he's doing here, and really $10 million, as I stated in the intro, ladies and gentlemen, is a drop in the bucket when you're down $3.6 billion. He's in the hole, $3.6 billion. What the hell is $10 million doing other than trying to just save face? Just be in the headline. I think he's a narcissist as crypto newbie. How about that? Holla at your boy.
People who are a whole different tax bracket. Their whole operational environment is way different than the regular retail person.
That's a fact.
I've been saying this forever, and I always kind of get annoyed when people are like, yeah, but, and they'll give you some big name financial person or some big name techie person, and you're just like, yeah, but y'all are nowhere near the same tax bracket. You have no level of the same type of concerns that person has compared to you worrying about something with your kid, something with your car, something about groceries. Like, that's a minimal thing for them. That ain't even a second thought for them. Like, I don't know. I just always get annoyed and frustrated with that thing of when people use these big name folks as the examples of how you should move in the space.
I want to highlight this one from CryptoMonk.com. He said the concentration of Bitcoin holders is concerning. The new owners, a true market players. The new owners, I don't know if you meant are true market players, probably. What are your thoughts about the concentration of Bitcoin holders?
It's like 45.6% are whales at this point. And so we talked about this the other night. There was an article written on it. And you do one of the beautiful things about Bitcoin is the decentralization. And so it does at least get concerning. You have to at least look at it. Let's put it that way. When almost half of the supply is with people that hold 1,000 Bitcoin or more, you have to at least pay attention to it, because now what are they doing? Are they using us as exit liquidity, and then they're buying the bottom, and then using us as exit liquidity, and then they're buying the bottom, and then at some point that number gets so high that wait a minute, is this even this decentralized economy anymore, if you will? I don't know. I think it deserves a look.
And it absolutely does. Andrew is asking, saying there's nothing funny about promoting adoption, though. I guess he's saying, to my point about Saylor, I'm kind of laughing at Saylor. Is Saylor's motive promoting adoption, or is Saylor's motive you buying more so he can sell at a higher price?
He hasn't sold yet. I will give him that.
But why I say that is because he's buying on leverage. Anytime you buy an asset on leverage, it's not for promoting. It's not you know what I'm saying? It's not an altruistic thing. No, you're doing this for capitalistic returns. You're doing this for capitalistic reasons. So that's why, Andrew, I'm saying I don't believe it is for promoting adoption. He doesn't care. He just wants to make more money. He's practicing the greater fool's theory. He needs you to buy Bitcoin at a higher price than he bought on leverage.
His shareholders want him to make more money.
Huh?
His shareholders want him to make more money.
Hell yeah, they do.
Well, of course. So he has to as well. How do you think he convinced his shareholders to make this move?
Showing conviction. Right? Showing conviction. Continue to buy 10 million after you're down $3.5 billion. Telling the shareholders, listen, just stick with me. I got you. We're headed to the promised land. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. And as I keep saying, like, press conferences, press conferences, fireside chats, Q&As, AMAs, none of those things are done under oath. If you are the head of a company or a department, you have to always talk in confidence. That is like the bottom line golden rule must. But you don't have to tell the truth. Two different things.
Yeah. Next article, really quickly. My guy, Robert Kiyosaki, I'm going to get him back on the channel again. I interviewed him 1.5 years ago on the channel. If you guys missed that, definitely go check that out. It was a great interview. Great time with Mr. Kiyosaki, a legendary individual in the space. Really looked up to him. Of course, most of you have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But he is saying that he is waiting for 1,000. I don't know where he's getting these numbers. I asked him when he was on my channel where he got 75,000 as a top. He said because Max Kaiser said 100K. So he just wanted to come in a little under. Cool. Hey, at least you got a reason. At least you got a reason. But he's saying he's waiting to buy Bitcoin. Now you guys know how I'm very concerned about the crypto space. But I don't see us going to $1,100 Bitcoin. I'm sorry. If we go there, the game is over. Little flip, game over. Little flip, game over.
All right. What's the opposite? If it crashed like that for, let's say, 5 minutes, and that's going to be on the Asian market time. That ain't even going to be on the American market time when something like that.
Oh, you think we're all going to miss it? It's going to be $1,100 and we're all going to miss it.
That's normally what happens with wick. Yeah. That capitulation wick.
Again, I don't do price talk, but I do know some things because I pay attention to smarter people like CB and some other folks that I know. So I imagine that if that happened, it wouldn't be during the American or the Western trading time, except if you like a hardcore, I'm up at 3 a.m. trader type of person.
Bro, but $1,100 Bitcoin?
Yo, set your buy orders now.
If somebody
at 11:02.
Listen, I don't agree with it as, let's say, realistic, but is it like realistic or like probable? But is it possible? Yes. Considering all of the things that have come out and been playing out over the last
anything's possible. I agree. I give you that. If you want to go that argument, that angle, of course. $5 Bitcoin is possible.
There was a drop that happened the other day. What was that? It took us down to 17, but it didn't even last that long. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a 24-hour market, and then you got the other issue of you can see it on one exchange for whatever reason. And if you happen to be on that exchange, you know, you're trying to make out as quick as you can.
Yo, shout out to Michael. He said $1,100 Bitcoin. My wife will literally
Listen,
murder
Michael,
me.
this is where you learn.
Yo.
This is where you learn that you don't overshare, right? I ain't telling my wife the fucking price of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
It's down to $1,100 either.
Right.
You just leave
Don't
that
tell her,
shit
bro.
out. You leave that.
Don't tell her.
Don't look at the. Don't
to
be
sleep
looking
that night, bro.
That's right. Like, make sure her internet is not working on her phone if she checks.
Even though $1,100 Bitcoin, I'm sure the View is talking about the price of Bitcoin at that point. She gonna find out. $1,100 Bitcoin, everybody gonna be talking about that price, buddy boy. HGTV is gonna flash Bitcoin $1,100.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I gotta ask you, Keeper. Do you see that as probable? We know it's possible. Is it probable that we see $1,100 Bitcoin, as Mr. Robert Kiyosaki is saying?
I don't think so. I will say this. He also has been known to make some kind of wild predictions as well. So this isn't a new thing.
No.
And I know this is going to sound crazy, but we see it all the time. The news is used to manipulate people. So what could be happening here? I'm just going to throw out a suggestion.
Okay.
He's talking about $1,100, which is such a low number, and he's a very well-respected individual, right? He's an intelligent man. He's done very well, okay?
Absolutely.
So now you got a ton of people that respect him saying, well, if he thinks it's 1,100, I mean, shoot, I could wait till 2K, 2,500, which still I don't think is probable, okay? So they're waiting for these numbers. What's happening while they're waiting? All of his cronies are saying, thank you for stalling the train here. And they continue to buy at these lower numbers. And so I do think that the news gets used against us all the time. And this, for me, feels like it could be the same thing. It's like people are waiting for something that's not going to happen. And while they're waiting for it, guess what's happening? All the big dogs are continuing to buy because they know just as well as I do that I don't think it's going to ever touch that. And I don't think Robert Kiyosaki thinks it's going to either.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you.
I think it's intellectually dishonest is what I think it is.
Good point. We've got, let's see here. Anything for Cliff said 1,100 miners are dead. Yeah, that would be bad. I didn't even think about that, Trekk. Like, at what price are we in
it's
a
like
self?
14, it's like $14,000 or $13,000 right now, where the
miner shut off their miners.
Well, yeah, because they can't pay. They can't pay the energy. It's not profitable at that point.
I'm just wondering. There's also a price. So you got the break even or profitability line in mining, but you also have a number in Bitcoin.
I don't know what that number is.
Where that number it becomes like a negative feedback loop.
Yeah, I don't know what that number is. Yeah.
Trekk.
But that's also the thing of like, are you at scale? And then are you looking at like, what is that? I think the 6 month up to like the 24 month or 36 month. Like, what is your window of saying where's the profitability going? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, 1,100 miners go offline, but if that price actually happened and it only lasted an hour, most of the miners, unless you really have your system set up at scale and you're automated and you got your people on deck and everything, you're not even going to have the down and then back off time again. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it doesn't, these negative scenarios sound plausible, but come on, 1,100 and it lasted longer than 5 minutes? No.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Last subject for tonight before we go ahead and do the Arculus giveaway, hardware wallet giveaway for the YouTube members is coming out of CoinDesk, and this is probably old news for most of you, but Coinbase reportedly selling geolocation data to ICE.
All I'm just saying is it's not reportedly.
Yeah. Well, Coinbase did. They denied it. They denied it. They said only when there's investigations. They only turn over information when there's an investigation on a particular or specific customer. Trekk.
Listen, it literally goes in the article that there's a watchdog agency that found the contract. So if there's anyone can go and find the public government contracts that different companies, get to win that you have to bid for.
Mm-hmm.
And so you already had the issue of them selling, I forgot what the other information was that last year or the year before? And in this thing, they're selling their service. They sell a service to the government, and they sell them particular geolocation information. Now, whether you want to contextualize it as far as saying, well, we only do it under this XYZ circumstance, it's two different things that we're talking about. The service that you sell to the government, and then particularly
how you use it.
How you use it, and the not geopolitical, but the geolocation metadata stuff. I think their response was just more so about the PR control to it. I mean, at the end of the day, what did we think was going to happen once they went public? And I would probably argue that they probably had it on the roadmap beforehand about, well, what information can we start selling off to government agencies as another form of revenue? Again, they're going to run into the issue of the traditional gate guard model that they have now for the trading side. It can't run forever when you have other platforms eventually working to zero trading fee costs.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find other ways to do stuff. I think they got other things in the pipeline that will come out over the next couple of months and years, and people are going to be gas struck. But, Coinbase is the Apple of crypto wallets and exchanges right now, and that's all that most of the American folks who want to come on into the crypto space, that's the easiest thing for them right now, arguably.
Yeah.
Keeper.
And I think it's pretty simple. I think that data is the most valuable asset on planet Earth right now. And I think that going into a business like the crypto space, it's a new technology that is publicly verifiable, that, all of these different things that are kind of a newer idea. When I say new, 10, 12 years, 13 years, whatever. I think that going into those, you would be crazy as a business owner not to look. I think Brian Armstrong would be nuts not to look at the option, whether you like the idea or not. You'd be nuts to not look at it and say, well, okay, I'm going to be getting all of this data. What can I physically do with it to monetize it? I think you'd be crazy as a business owner not to at least look at that, right? And then I think the government on the backside would be nuts not to approach them and give them some pressure and say, hey, listen, we know that you need X, Y, and Z. You are going to play ball. And if you play ball, we will make you, let's go on the farther side of it, the chosen one, right? And if Coinbase is the chosen one, then you better damn sure bet that they're going to play ball when the government comes knocking, when ICE comes knocking, asking questions. And so I think that it is a tit for tat. Hey, we'll do this for you. You do this for me. I think it's like anything else that people don't want to talk about as it relates to how our government operates, how some of these massive businesses operate. The reality is we don't have our privacy anymore anyway. It's just about how is our data actually getting used for or against us. And I think this is just another prime example of the fact that your data is being used for other purposes, and you need to understand that whenever you sign up for something or put your email out there for anything. I think you just need to be aware of it.
Yeah, no doubt. This is why you guys need to be watching these live streams. We dropping gems out here, baby. Off the Chain episode 81. Let's get it. So look, Trekk, we talked about this maybe about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, when it surfaced that a lot of these hardware wallets are starting to, in their terms of service, they're starting to track you geolocation as well, from a geolocation standpoint as well. No, of course, they don't have much other data or metadata points, but they at least know where you are accessing your hardware wallet, IP address wise. Talk to that, because that kind of lends to this Coinbase thing. So people need to be aware, and this is why you got to watch this channel, because we do more than surface level shit here. You gotta read the terms of services of these hardware wallets too, because they are tracking you. Trekk.
Yes. First thing I'm gonna say is Control F. If you really want to do the deep dive dig on terms
Control
of
F.
service, private privacy policies of whatever product or service that you're using on their website, Control F. Put in certain words like ownership, like privacy, like control, or geolocation. Now, like you put those things in there. If it's in that terms of service, it's in that contract. Trust me, the word will show up unless they figured out some new, non-descriptive wording to re-term it as. You might actually have to do a little bit more digging, but like Control F, man. Like if you really want to know what's going on with the things that you're using, Control F.
Good point too, Jason Lynch. Definitely want to use the VPN while accessing your hardware wallets, especially like a Ledger or anything where you have like you're using their software gateway. That's where they're tracking. It's not in the hardware part. It's when you're connecting to your computer. Mm-hmm. It's that interface is where they're sending your location information into a log and just keeping that for whatever reason. I have no clue, but definitely VPN will help with that. Man, this was a good. Go ahead.
One last thing, and this is something that CryptoKeep kind of got into, but didn't go the mile I'm about to run into on this. That whole thing about staking on your hardware wallet. Here goes the danger. Yes, you use some level of PII to order the hardware wallet, right? But
personally identifiable information for those of y'all wondering what
thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. Certain things just be flowing out like that. Military talk, it does things to you. Mm-hmm. So you use that personally identifiable information to order the hardware wallet, but until you actually do something, say to connect it, it's still nothing that actually says, hey, this is exactly the one that you ordered from the company. I would imagine if you start seeing a wave of like everyone's running to do staking on hardware wallets, give it 2 years. KYC for your hardware wallet is going to end up being a thing on certain platforms.
I believe that.
Ooh.
Give it 2 years.
And the way they're going to do it is through FATFA, right? That group has already been like pushing for that. So how that is going to work is this agency, I think they're from overseas, but they kind of they give consultancy or reporting to a lot of different organizations and try to push these mandates on the government level. And the government then institutes them to these private companies. But what's going to happen is if you do not choose to do KYC, then they won't allow you to operate within the country. So these companies that want to be legitimate and above board are going to have to basically fall in line and do whatever.
Play ball. They have to play ball. They have to play ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's BS, but they have to play ball. Yeah.
What was the other thing? Oh, the same thing is going to end up happening with the browser wallet. So MetaMask, Liquidity, if Phantom makes it as far as Solana as a long run thing is still out here, KYC is going to end up moving into those type of wallets too. And the thing that I've noticed this year in particular, and what it got me to realize was there's a lot of mapping going on the back end. And not just like, oh, well, we can see how this wallet address in non-readable English is connected to this wallet address, like in looking at a Etherscan or Bitcoin Explorer or whatever. I'm talking about like officially you will be able to be like, oh, that's John blah, blah, blah. And if you really know what you're doing, you will know how to access like specific information on a person based off of their web wallet. That is going to be some part of this space. Most of the folks is going to get caught up in it because we not all going to make it.
Did you say we're not all going to make it?
We're not all going to make it. No, we're not. Hey, I'm not even going to bring up that whole thing down in Austin. That'll be too embarrassing for me. I won't say that. Yeah, man, I appreciate both of you guys. There's one thing I do want to pull up before we go, and I think this is important because this is has been my overarching thesis for where and when Bitcoin and other asset classes start going back to the moon. And it is when the Federal Reserve either stops hiking rates or begin to cut them. This was an article out of CNBC that came out July 1st. And now the markets are starting to think that the Fed will end up cutting rates towards the end of next year. Now, end of next year. That's end of 2023 if you guys don't understand that. That's a long ass time from now. Okay, so just keep a pulse on that, in my opinion, to see where things go. We don't know where the bottom is, but I do know what will cause the bottom, and it is that. So definitely keep your eyes on that end of next year, that the markets are starting to think that interest rates will begin to get cut. Man, I it needs to be earlier than that, because if we wait a whole nother year and some change, it's gonna get ugly. Or we can hit a point of equilibrium in the markets where that price is. Maybe it's $10,000 Bitcoin, $15,000 Bitcoin, $20,000 Bitcoin. But I think we'll stay in a range for as long as, until that actual event happens. That's my 2 Satoshis on that. Any last words, my man Crypto Keeper?
Man, I just appreciate you for having me on, Blood. Trekk, as always, you killing it, bro. Appreciate your content. Make sure you guys check everybody else out. We do have our free mint coming up, so check us out. Danger Close Alpha. It's Danger Close Alpha. There's no A because it was too long there. Check us out on Twitter, and then you can dive into our Discord from there as well. So yeah, check it out. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, I love you guys.
Trekk with 2 Ks.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on as usual. Crypto Keep, good jumping on with you. And like I said, later on this month, me and 3D are doing a digital realty webinar. It is a paid thing. You can find us on Twitter, all about it, and you can even find the event on Eventbrite, because that's the thing that we're going through. And yeah, basically for the folks who have been hearing about this metaverse thing but don't want to get into trading or coins and being a coder and all that, there are other ways that you could possibly make some gains on it, or at least you walk away knowing more than before you actually did the webinar with us. Just saying.
Yeah, no doubt. And thanks to all of the Debate Crypto fans and followers in the chat room showing love. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and quickly do this wheel of names. We're gonna randomly pick a YouTube member, a paid member. All right, let's get the drum roll going. We're gonna be giving away another one of these Arculus wallets. So let's go ahead and see who is going to be the winner this weekend. So I'm gonna hit that spin button. See who we got. Oh, go ahead and stop. There we go. J Crypto Minded is the winner this week. J Crypto, I will be reaching out to you to get your information so we can ship that out to you, homie.
Heck yeah,
that's
congrats.
Pretty much congrats to J Crypto. He's been a supporter of the channel for quite some time. That is pretty much it, ladies and gents. It's your boy Crypto Blood. We out of here. Holla.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, another episode under the belt. Make sure you guys go follow Crypto Keeper. Go follow Trekk with 2 Ks. And definitely go follow CBTV. Let us know how you felt about that live stream. Did you agree, disagree? I just want to hear what you have to think. And also, make sure you go follow me on TikTok. I'm now on TikTok. It's @CryptoBlood_, just like the Twitter. I'm out of here, people. Let's go. Ha!